Welcome back to Lovin Dubai show. Today's guest is a superstar in the making, from learning music from the age of 6 to taking the music scene by storm. We're obsessed with music, and you will be too. And it looks like the sky is the limit. Welcome to the show, Felix Weaver.
Hello. How's it going?
How are you?
Yeah, fine, thank you. All good? Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you for waking up so early in the morning and getting here.
I was saying this is like the earliest I've woken up in a while, so you'll be able to hear it a little bit.
Oh, okay. I mean, like for rock stars, it's usually like, 2 p.m. to 2 a.m.?
That's usually how it is.
Yeah? Is it
and
for
then
you?
go to bed at like 4, but it's okay.
Actually?
Oh, yeah, for sure, 100%. Well, the prime time to make music is after like midnight.
Why is that?
I don't know.
That's when the feels come in.
It is. Oh. Yeah, everything feels different. Everything's dark and the lights are dimmed.
When you started learning music at a young age, was that the case then? No.
No, that was all the time, all day. But now, I guess maybe I'm not as creative anymore. I'm not as not jumping on it as much.
Go back to learning music from a young age. Are you from a musical family?
My dad plays the flute. I mean, not like out and out musical. And my sister does a bit and whatever, but I sort of found it on my own a little bit through YouTube and whatever, and just kind of made my own sort of way.
Cool.
Yeah. So I guess I mean, it's like, I think it was when I first heard Metallica, I was like, okay.
What age was that?
I guess that was probably around 9 or 10, and I already had a guitar, but I was like, I had no idea how to play it, and so I just picked it up. I was like, well, I guess this is what I got to do now, and then I was just obsessed with it ever since. So. Oh,
you picked up a guitar, and were you self-taught, or you took lessons?
No, I didn't have any lessons. I would sort of I would play the songs and listen to them, and then be like, oh, that sounds about right. And I would just use some tuner on my phone, because I didn't know what any of the tuning was. And yeah, I just taught myself by ear. Oh, and YouTube.
So if you were doing that at home, at what point did your family and friends realize you were talented, and they realized that it wasn't just this kind of hobby, that it was something that you could do?
I mean, I think, well, definitely my dad was the first one that he I guess knew. He took me out of school when I was 12, just because he saw how it was going, and he was just like, man, this is the path for him.
Oh, wow.
And it's not the most orthodox thing to do, and I wouldn't suggest it for anyone else, but I guess it was sort of, I mean, I'm so glad it was like that, and he's like my number one fan, so.
So you mentioned Metallica. You're wearing a Queen's shirt. What other bands are your favorites, or
oh my God, the list is I mean, the top ones, the most inspiring ones, definitely like Audio Slave, Breaking Benjamin, Bring Me the Horizon, a little bit newer. But I love, there are some, other weirder stuff that I like.
Pretty Reckless?
Pretty Reckless are pretty cool.
No one knows them.
Yeah,
so
sure.
shocked.
Yeah, Pretty Reckless. They're fantastic. I know this band that just went on tour with them. And they're pretty cool.
Can you describe your sound for everyone watching you for the first time?
I'm still trying to figure it out. It's I guess it's a grungy kind of pop rock-ish kind of sound that also you could kind of bang your head against the wall to. So I guess hardly commercial.
Speaking of which, you're in that zone, right? That grunge. There is a certain expectation from this genre. So do you feel like you always have to keep yourself in pain and just dark to create this kind of music? I
mean, I don't write happy songs. The reason for a lot of songwriters is to let out those emotions and stuff. So I mean, I wouldn't say that I have to be sad to write a song, but definitely even sometimes you could be in a good mood and write it, and then there are things coming out that sort of you don't even realize you're thinking about. So it's a bit of a therapeutic process, but I'm not going around with a frown all day.
So when you're dating and in a relationship, are you break up already? So I have a heartbreak and I
need my albums.
Yeah, I have a couple of those songs. The producer I'm working with now doesn't really want that many love songs. So, no, I'm definitely guilty of writing a few of those.
Speaking of, your song My Pain is just gorgeous. I could have that over and over and over and over and over. Tell us about it.
That one, actually, I just wrote. It took me about, I think, less than an hour. I was just in my room and just strumming. Lots of the stuff I write is originally on acoustic, and then I take it over to electric and sort of like pump it up a little bit. And yeah, I was just sitting in my room, sort of strumming it, and it all sort of came to life. I think I was feeling a little bit down at the time, as you can probably tell by the name of the song, and it sort of just came about, and just recorded it in my studio at home.
Who are these songs for? Are you writing for like a person that you want them to hear it?
Well, actually, I think they're more. It's almost like writing to myself, and a lot of the songs seem like, you know, maybe I could be talking about a relationship or something like that, but it's almost like a third person kind of thing, like speaking to myself, sort of a bit like, why don't you understand? Like, you know, you're feeling this kind of way, and you know what you can do to get over it. Why don't you just do it? But it's just not that easy. So I guess
do you see yourself in 5 years from now covered with tattoos and piercings?
I'm already building up a little bit. You can't see under here.
Typical.
But yeah, I need to get a couple more. I only got tattoos here for the time being, but I reckon in about 2 years I'll come back on and I'll be a bit more.
So Casey wasn't stalking you at all.
Yeah.
At all.
No.
Like, she didn't realize that you have like 1,000 fan pages.
Do I?
There's a few.
Oh,
Few.
I saw a couple recently, and actually I love that kind of stuff. I think it's super cool, and it's really interesting because, like, to me, I don't think that anyone likes my music. You know, I think it's like just me. So then I'm like, oh wow, they kind of like me.
What are your kind of fan interactions like?
Oh man, everyone's just super cool. And I don't necessarily like think like I have fans. I just feel like there's people that relate to my music. You know, there's no one that's like a fan of me. And I think people just like, they listen to it. They're like, wow, I feel what he feels, or like this song, I relate to it. You know, and that's how I was like, you know, hearing a song. I was like, wow, if they went through that and, you know, they got through it, and, you know, obviously the song came out of it, I can do the same thing. So hopefully there's some, you know, 12-year-old now finding me, and it's like, wow, maybe I could do the same thing.
We have comments coming in. Someone's like, would you date a fan?
She's looking at her Excel sheet.
I just closed it.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'd have to meet them first, right?
Huh?
But I'd have to meet them first. I'm not really looking to...
Like, you know, a Cristiano Ronaldo situation, you know?
Or I'll date Cristiano Ronaldo.
Interesting.
Yeah,
interesting.
He's a handsome guy. No.
So some people would say that rock is lacking great bands at the moment. Or it's not as kind of mainstream.
Right.
How hard is it to make your name in rock right now? Especially in the UAE.
Yeah, well, here's a different story. But I think there's so many fantastic rock bands out there now and rock musicians. But the problem is everything has sort of been done before. So it's very hard to be original, and even like, you know, a lot of my stuff, I'm sure you could say, oh, this sounds like this, or, you know, whatever. So I think it definitely needs someone to sort of come in and kick it in a bit like a Marilyn Manson kind of figure, where it's just like, what is this? I've never heard this in my life. And that sort of kicks it back in. But, you know, it's like even pop music now. Like, I you know, I don't want to sound like a music snob, but it all sounds the same to me. And so, you know, it's just that originality. It's pretty hard to get.
Where would you call home, by the way?
I'm trying to figure it out. I mean, I was born in Bahrain. I left there when I was 12, when I left school, and I didn't go back. But definitely, I mean, my parents are English, maybe England, but I feel like in the next couple of years I'll know where my home is. I've just not quite found it yet.
Well, you did say you'd be back here in 2 years with more tattoos, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So that's in 2 years, we're going to have you on the show again. But what about 5 years? Like, what is the dream? Where do you want to see yourself in 5 or 10 years?
Well, God, that's a... I mean, the wish is to just make it as big as possible and just perform for the biggest crowds and just have my music there for anyone that needs to hear it. Because, you know, that's what it is. I want to inspire people and sort of show people that you know, that whatever they're going through, whatever they feel isn't weird, and it's not like they're not going through it for no reason, and that, you know, there's always a way out of it, you know. I guess that's how I see it.
That's incredible. So you're going to be sticking to this genre. Or do you see yourself collabing with anyone in specific, or do you have like dream collabs?
God, there's so many people I would collaborate with, but I don't think I'm quite at that point yet. But you never know. I mean, that's one way to really get yourself out there, and there's a lot of people now that would be.
But you should put it out there. Who do you want to collab with?
Bon Jovi. I know you're watching.
He's
I know he's watching.
The show, every morning. We can't get him off. It's annoying at this point.
My God, he keeps commenting on all my posts. Like, But yeah, that would be a dream one. Bon Jovi.
That must be really annoying. Like liking all your posts.
Yeah. Oh my God, especially from someone like that. Oh,
Block him at this point.
Yeah.
Very quickly, that is all we have time for. But can you let people know how they can find you? Like, what's the best platform to get your music?
YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. Whatever you use, it's on there. Just Felix Weaver, type it in and everything will come up.
What's the name of your latest album?
I just released a short 3 EP album called Parasite, which I just recorded in the US this summer. So if you want to go watch Parasite, and there's a music video for Parasite on YouTube, which is pretty hectic, pretty intense.
Can I just say I loved your answer about not thinking that you have fans, but having people that relate to music. That's really beautiful. So thank you so much for sharing all of that with us on the Lovin Dubai show. Come back in 2 years' time. Come back in 5 years' time. We look forward to watching your journey.
I'll be here. Awesome.
Guys, that is it for us on the Lovin Dubai show. A massive thank you to Felix Weavers. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
See you later.
I think I'm gonna do that.